Howdy guys, welcome back to the WEBTOON YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing our series, WEBTOON Versus.
We got a special episode for you guys here today. I'm Shy Chef. I'm going to be covering John Doe from Unordinary. And my buddy Dr. Jero here is going to be covering Mr. Kim from I Get Stronger the More I Eat. Unordinary takes place in a world much like our own, except everyone has super powered abilities except for our main character, John Doe. But as the series progresses, it turns out that our John Doe has a powerful ability known as aura manipulation. Tied with that, his physical prowess and his ability to take damage, and aura manipulation's extra ability to amplify powers, and John Doe is a very heavy hitter.
So my character is Mr. Kim from the WEBTOON series I Get Stronger the More I Eat. Mr. Kim is known as Pet Shop, a worldwide criminal who is responsible for a lot of poaching, hunting, and other very heinous acts. And the reason why he does it is because he likes to eat and eat and eat.
Why do you have chopsticks?
Because, he's the guy that eats. Come on, dude, you're a chef. You're supposed to know this. Anyway, every time he eats an animal, he gains the ability that they have. So, for example, if he eats a fish, he can breathe underwater. If he eats a bird, he can grow their entire wingspan and fly. I think that with this ability, he's going to take John and blow him out of the water.
One of the major weaknesses of Mr. Kim is his range. Not in terms of how fast he can go, but his ability to attack at a long distance. A lot of abilities from Unordinary provide their user the long-range capabilities that Mr. Kim's animal copying lacks. John copies many projectile-based abilities. One of the funnest that he copies is Blake's energy discharge. This lets him use long energy blasts and laser beams to fire at his opponents. That's not even counting the explosion projectile he has, crescent moon slashes, or the electric charge of Remy's lightning.
2 words, electric eel. I feel that the animal kingdom is being heavily underestimated here. Mr. Kim has been able to deflect bullets by putting up armor around his body. While he doesn't have any ranged abilities, he can still take a hit.
Most of the kids here, even some of the low-ranker kids, can break through concrete with their fists. And that's low-ranker kids. Imagine John Doe, one of the highest tiers in Wellston. There's a very good chance that John Doe from Unordinary could break through or even damage some of those scales that Mr. Kim is so proud of.
It's not just a simple transformation. He allows himself to get stronger and use these abilities to the fullest by combining these abilities. Mr. Kim is also very smart in the way that he uses his animal abilities to amplify his strengths. We see him unable to bite through the hide of an extraterrestrial animal. He changes his teeth into shark teeth, and he changes the mouth structure of his mouth into a hippo's. So he can increase the area of his mouth with the sharpness of the teeth, and that allowed him to bite right through his skin.
Something that makes John a real threat isn't his strength, but his ability to outpace those with immense strength. Add to that, his immense strength with abilities copied makes him really dangerous, especially against someone who relies on brute strength.
I feel like we're underestimating the power of a Poacher Hunter. Now, granted, yes, terrible job decision. The thing is with John is that he can steal any ability from his classmates. But what if his classmates were taken out of the picture? What would exactly happen if I were to take out every single person that John, one, cared about, and also where he gets his powers from?
Well, the entire world has powers. You're gonna take out the entire world, Jero? Not to mention, John has copied Aizen's Hunter, and his Hunter ability lets him target or track and lock on to opponents. So if he even sees one side of Mr. Kim, well
then just get rid of the eyes. He has so many claws and that he could just swipe them off.
There's many different abilities that let John move away. Zeke's spaceship, for example, lets him move faster than lightning itself.
But what if Mr. Kim eats an armadillo? Even though John can go really fast, an armadillo can roll up and just keep barreling through. If John doesn't have a strong power ability, he can't possibly break through that shield, and he's gonna have to get rid of the speed. And knowing John, he always runs in with some pretty brute force tactics, but that's not gonna do much against a rolling boulder coming at you.
But John has also copied an explosion power. Can an armadillo withstand an explosion? Do you think an armadillo's shell could withstand an explosion?
So John can throw out explosions, but what about animals or mythical beings that can actually take heat? I would say that if he ate a dragon, he would have no worries about an explosion.
That's true, but Blake's energy discharge is seemingly strong enough to pierce metals. Do you think a dragon's scales can take that?
Alright. So he can shoot lasers out of his fingers. Big whoop. My guy, Mr. Kim, ate a slime. And a slime can basically eat anything that comes his way. Even if you puncture holes into a slime, they're not going to be affected. They're just going to fill in the blanks.
Okay, yeah, well, in a very recent chapter, John Doe has copied Hydro Freeze, an ability to control water and ice. He could freeze a slime pretty easily.
Now, going back to how exactly my guy can change certain parts of his body to match animals. Now, his whole body can be slime. It can be dodging these lasers coming at him without any effort. But he can transform his head into a dragon and blow fire onto his body to melt any cryo freeze that comes his way.
Well, to block dragon flames, we have Arlo's shield. This shield is incredibly durable and airtight. And while it can break, it seems to take no damage from like elemental stuff, so fire breath likely wouldn't do anything to it. Not to mention it does reflective damage.
So what I can say is this: although his shield is not penetrable by any element that we've seen, Mr. Kim can come in with a pretty hard punch, and not just a punch of one animal. We saw that he altered his musculature to have the strength of an orc, but also have the claws of a bear. And I feel like between those two and whatever animal he has in his arsenal, he can create enough force to break through that shield, and despite the damage he'll take, that shield will break.
But a fun little bonus about Hydro Freeze is its ability H2 transformation, which lets its user turn into water.
Well, if he's turning into water, he has an elephant trunk that could just snort up the water, and there, he's eating him. That's over. That's game over, man. I don't know.
Well, while the shield is broken, we have Venti's whirlwinds, which let him fly away and recover damage.
Dude, all he needs to do is to turn into a heavy animal. Like, you can turn into a gorilla, and if that doesn't work, what's a bigger one than that?
Whale?
Whale!
He's recently copied the ability to teleport as well, as long as it's in eyesight.
Alright. So, obviously, they're flying, there's a chase, and now you're saying he teleports. Well, now he's going to use his eagle eye to see wherever he ends up, because remember, he has to teleport anywhere within eyesight. He can't teleport out of a hawk's eyesight.
Well, while Mr. Pet Shop over there is coming towards him, he can set up a trap with Cecile's energy vines.
What's to stop him from turning into an even bigger animal to break out of the vines? Face it, Shy, whatever ability you can throw at me that any human can do, an animal can counter it and probably do it even better.
All the animals in the world, I think, couldn't be John's abilities.
Alright guys, that's all we have for today.
So make sure you check out these series and leave a comment down below on who would win this fight. We'll be checking out those comments.
And we'll see you in the next Webtoon Versus.
Goodbye.
Peace.